Yo, what's up, party people? It's Dude Born Shining here. I'm born shining. So are you. We're all born shining. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise, because they definitely don't know what the hell they're talking about. Anywho, I tried to. Well, I was making a video and I ran out of space. I had to delete some things, so we're gonna go for it again. But right before that, I want to give shout out again, as always, to the universal life force, the great creator, the spirit which moves through all things. I want to give thanks to Jesus and the Ascended Masters. I want to say thank you to the Archangel Squad. I want to say thank you to Ra, my spirit animals, my spirit guides, my ancestors, my crossover loved ones, and my friends, known and unknown, seen and unseen. And in that last video that I just had to delete to make space for this, what I was talking about was uh, how we're in a school and there's no accidents. Like nothing here is an accident. In that just the word accident, um, just the idea that things happen for no reason is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous concept because it gives the impression that there's no meaning to things, and the meaning is whatever you give a thing. It's all up to you what you give it, what the meaning is. You know, um, so I urge you to give things meaning because it's like if a child being born has no meaning, if there's no meaning to life, then you're not going to respect it, you're not going to appreciate it. So the meaning that you give to things is really, really important. I was talking about Viktor Frankl. He's got a book out there. I believe it's Viktor Frankl. Anyways, Man's Search for Meaning, Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People? And I would say two things. First off is, who are you to say what's bad or good? And the second thing is, along the first line of bad and good, is who are you to say that these people are good? How do you know what they've done in a previous life? So just the title alone would make the book not worthy of being read, in my opinion. But I did read it because I read it before I put all this shit together. So why do bad things happen to good people? Well, I would just say, why do things happen to people? And it's because they manifested it. If everything is energy, these people, these scenarios and situations, they happen for a reason. And the greater reason, the higher reason, is for education. It's a higher education. You like that? So that we can learn, you know. And I give credence to reincarnation. And so in this situation, what Viktor Frankl was talking about specifically, as well as generally, but more specifically, he was talking about people who experienced the Holocaust. And I know that's a sensitive subject for a lot of people. Me personally, uh, I'm not even really sure it was as bad as they said that it was. And I have my reasons for that. And part of my reason is because talking against it, or having just holding that opinion and talking about the Holocaust not being real in Canada is illegal, and it's gotta raise a red flag why you can't have an opinion about something that's based on facts. Actually, it's not just like somebody woke up one day and is like, I don't believe that. No, they did research. A lot of this stuff is based on hard evidence. All right. And so just moving away from that whole idea of whether it's real or not is, why do these people, why what's good or bad? And it's like, who am I to say what these people did in a previous life? Maybe these people did that to other people in a previous life and they had to go through the experience and be on the other end of it, you know and I mean, I don't wish that on anyone, but again, it just highlights the importance of why it's important to make good decisions, the importance of acting in with compassion. And that's what we're all here to learn is why you don't do that to people, why you don't treat people that way, is because you don't want to be treated that way. I mean, it's called the golden rule for a reason, you know but oftentimes people don't. It takes these kinds of situations and events. It takes people dying and going to the pearly gates or talking to the voice, and the white light and all of these kinds of things. It takes serious catastrophic events for people to put these kinds of things together, because they're not searching for it and they're not questioning while they're alive. And that's probably because they've been taught to believe that none of this has any meaning. And so you can see how it's important. you know you're only going to extract meaning from things that you think are meaningful. It's like you're not going to walk around in your life and thinking that you can just do whatever the hell you want and there's not going to be any consequences, and you're not going to learn anything. You know what I mean? Until you're dead. All right. And for those of you that are new here or whatever, it's like I don't just say shit. I mean, I talk some shit, don't get me wrong. I talk a lot of shit, but it's all based on evidence. It's all based on hard evidence. And so reincarnation even is something that's provable. There's children being born with memories of their previous life. There's people out there who are finding these children and they're solving cold cases for the murder of their previous life. Like, let's say a child wakes up, has a dream, and they wake up and they tell their mom, like, "Oh, mom," and this is a particular story. Uh, you know, the child in a previous life was a pilot, and so this investigator comes and talks to the child, gets some information, and then goes out into the world and finds the people that were associated with that pilot in their previous life. And these are details that uh, you know nobody would be able to know other than the pilot and those around them. Yet this child has an awareness of this. And so, again, I don't think there are accidents. And I'm also trying to steer clear of the word believe, because that word believe is a loaded word and we can get into that at another time. Uh, Anyways, there's nothing that's happening here that's by accident. Okay? There's nothing happening here that's by accident, especially in the government, especially in the scientific realm. Okay, there's a reason why the FDA is going to approve drugs that have only been in existence for 2 months or 3 months or 1 year. Whatever, 1 year is really not that long. Yeah, they can run a lot of tests and everything, but when you think about how long indigenous people cultures have been using plants as medicine, food as medicine, and they're going to tell you that the FDA is going to say, "Oh, well, this is not approved by the FDA," but it's fucking turmeric, however you want to pronounce it. It's like, give me a fucking break, dude. But they're going to sell you this pharmaceutical shit that's been around for a year, that is highly likely not outperforming the placebo. You know what I mean? It's like, we got to think about this shit, man. Like, none of this shit makes any sense. Like, who are these fucking people? Who are these people, and why do they stop giving them your loyalty? These people don't give a fuck about you, bro. These people don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They're going to tell you that mint, they're going to say that mint has not been tested and it's unsafe or whatever, but then they're going to promote these drugs with side effects list that is longer than and worse than the damn problem that you need the pills for in the first place. But then they're going to tell you that mint has not been tested, so we don't know. When clearly it's been around for fucking thousands of years and people have been using it safely. You know what I mean? Like, come on, really? How is that even possible? That you're gonna make something up out of nowhere that is gonna outperform nature? Come on. Come on. These people don't give a shit about you or me. Only as far as they can get money from us, you know, and extract money from us and keep us ignorant to the reality of the situation, which is that we are the bosses here. We are the ones who hold the power. We are the ones that determine our own reality. And if you don't have any meaning in your life, if nothing matters and there's no meaning to anything, then you're probably not going to take that very seriously. You know, it's like, oh, well, who cares? I don't have any control over this shit anyways. Like, what's it matter? We're all going to hell in a handbasket and all that kind of, it's like, that is the most obnoxious attitude I think I've encountered is that of, oh, well, what's the point? You know, none of it matters. It's like, oh gosh, that's just, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, you know? And that's not to say we're here to just like pleasure ourselves and jerk off all day. I mean, we're here to take care of each other and to take care of the planet and uplift each other and help each other learn and progress and evolve. That's what we're here to do because we're not alone. All right, I'm not talking like humans aren't alone on the planet. There's animals and yeah, but there's other beings here. You know what I mean? There's other beings here. But even if there weren't, there's other beings out there. You know what I'm saying? So like we got to get to a place collectively where it makes sense that we can have guests over. You know what I mean? It's like if you're at your house and you're constantly fighting with your family and there's constant fights and shit, it's like you can invite people over, but people aren't, they might not be able to see it or be able to recognize exactly what's going on, but they can feel it. They can feel like, whoa, this is a tense situation. I don't know if I want to come back here. They might hang out, have a cup of tea or whatever, and then bounce. But, you know, they may not come back, you know? And that's kind of what we're doing here. It's like we need to make our home hospitable, not just for ourselves. Like, yeah, first and foremost for ourselves. Duh. You know, but there's also a larger purpose behind that. It's like we need to, because we want to connect with our galactic family. We want to connect with our cosmic family, you know? And I don't blame them for not making themselves more known because like the way that we treat each other and the way that we treat animals and the way that we treat the environment, and these are things that we have been around for a long time. I'm not surprised at the idea that these beings don't want to come here. Not because they're afraid of what we're going to do to them. I mean, if you're like a super telepathic being with, you know, telekinesis powers and shit, it's like a gun is useless. A bomb is not going to, you know, it's a paperweight at that point. So it's not about that, you know. I think it goes back to the fact that these beings they're not trying to scare us. And they realize that it's like we've got a long way to go or whatever before we can have visitors. You know what I mean? So meaning is it's important to give things proper meaning, and that's going to determine your outlook, and it's going to determine what you give credit to and weight to, and all of these kinds of things. So for me, in my personal experience, which is really the only thing that I have the authority to talk about, uh, giving my life a higher meaning in the sense that I I do trust that I'm not just here to wake up and go to work and then come home and watch TV and sit on the couch and eat potato chips, you know? It's like there's more to this place. I'm here to learn about myself. I'm here to cultivate the skills and abilities that I was given at birth and the things that I feel inspired to learn along the way. I'm here to, just like the universe is growing and expanding, if as above, so below, I'm growing and expanding. It's important that I uh, continue to learn and continue to grow. And I don't think that I'm alone in that. Although I think the group of people who would identify with that idea is proportionately small to the larger Earth population, you know, um, for whatever reason. There's millions of reasons why. But we're here to learn and grow. We're here to help each other. We're here to make this world a better place. And maybe that sounds cheesy. And if you think that sounds cheesy, then kiss my ass. Because that takes real balls. It takes real balls to stand up to people who think that they know everything, and you're confident that they're wrong, or that they're missing something. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of balls to stand up to people who have fucking been doing the same thing the same way for hundreds, maybe thousands of years without any real evidence of success, and say, no, we're going to do this a different way. That takes balls, dude. They want to paint, they want to paint people that want change, nonviolent social change, and all these. They want to paint us as a bunch of pussies. But I'll tell you what, Gandhi, Gandhi was a bigger soldier than any of these motherfuckers. Look what he accomplished without pointing a gun at anybody. All right, and maybe he did do it alone. Maybe he did have help. Maybe he was working with clandestine organizations and doing all these other things. But I'll tell you what, people bought into it. Millions of Indians bought into that. And since millions more people have bought into that idea, we just don't actually believe that it's possible here, or it's maybe possible to recreate. But I'll tell you what, like I bought into it, and I think that that is the case, because I know that humans do have emotions, and that's with nonviolence. What you're appealing to is you're appealing to the empathic side of people, and not everybody has that. Okay, I'm gonna just flat out tell you that right now. Not everybody's got that, but by the same token, more people do than don't. All right, and I've said it before on this channel in other videos. This is a spiritual war. You have to expect some casualties. It would be naive to think that you're just gonna frolic through the tulips and everything is going to go your way, and you're not going to be met with some kind of resistance, and that's just not true. At the same time, when you're afraid of dying, you're gonna you're you're gonna do things that prevent that reality. Like, and again, kind of coming back to the reincarnation aspect of it, is like, you don't die, dude. You never die. And most people know this about energy. Most people know this about energy. You can't Energy doesn't get destroyed. It just gets transmuted. It gets transferred. It changes, but it's never gone. It's never destroyed. And so, like, what do you think you are? You know, you're energy. We're all energy. So when you die, part of you continues on. And that's the higher perspective that's needed to defeat these people. Because most people down here are afraid of dying. We're afraid of death. We treat death as this like catastrophic end. And when you see it as that, fear kicks in because you don't want to leave this place. And I don't blame you. It's a beautiful place. For as bad as people have treated it and treated each other and all of that kind of stuff, this is a beautiful, magnificent world. And at the same time, We can't be attached to staying here forever because all things change. But when you're afraid of death, then you don't do the things that you need to do to make things right, you know, to uphold justice. You know what I'm saying? It's like in my life, in my personal experience, I thought I was gonna die. Like I would equate death to me. Death was having to walk away from my children and walk away from people and being alone. The illusion of death was the illusion of being alone and being by myself and feeling like I'm alone in this world, or feeling just, you know, in this situation, death can be all kinds of things. But what I learned by doing those things that scared the shit out of me, and I learned that I'm still here. I learned that I'm not dead. I didn't die. Maybe part of me died, and that would be the part of me that thought I wasn't going to be able to make it. And now I realize how strong I am. What more that I'm capable of, and it's like, well, how much how much am I really capable of, you know? So these people, like, we're here to learn all kinds of things, okay? But for me right now, you know, one of the big priorities outside of focusing on myself is inspiring the possibility in other people, the making it seem very practical, you know, like all of this stuff is really practical changes to get practical results, you know. um, it's not that far off, it's not that far-fetched, it's not some, you know, fantasy, you know. And people who are telling you that it is a fantasy probably have something to lose by you realizing that it's not a fantasy. You know, it's their fantasy. You know, they're the ones that are living in an illusion by trying to keep up all of these systems and things that are only promoted, you know, they're only benefiting a small group here on the earth. You know what I mean? All these institutions, United Nations. I mean, come on. How long does it take to get results? You know what I mean? How long does it take to get results? And I would say that results were never really part of their plan, you know? So, yeah, I think it's probably enough, you know, for now. That's good. But anyways, love you guys, and we'll just keep it rolling on the next one. Cheers.